Well, hello, friends. Father Frank Pavone here, National Director of Priests for Life, bringing you my daily diary for the 5th of April, Tuesday, through Monday the 11th. So I've been doing a lot of traveling, a lot of events. Let me summarize for you exactly what I did each day and each night. So Tuesday morning, April 5th, here at my desk, very early, doing email work, preparing for leaders' meetings that I led over the next couple of days, and giving approvals for various mailings going out on behalf of Priests for Life. Jumped onto the phone to do a radio interview at 8:20, and then at about 8:35 joined our morning staff briefing here at Priests for Life. Right after the briefing, I met with our website and social media and technology departments to get the work of the day underway. And then when those meetings were finished, Georgette Forney of Anglicans for Life and our co-founder of Silent No More came on that day here to our office and had some meetings with me and Janet Morana. So we had some very fruitful meetings, a lot of planning for the Silent No More campaign, updating of our resources, talking about Abortion Recovery Awareness Month, which is this month, and so forth. I had a Zoom call with the head of pro-life activities for the Ancient Order of Hibernians here in America. I'll be helping them out with a number of things and doing a webinar for them pretty soon. So we had a great conference call in that regard. More meetings with Georgette and with Janet. And then, let's see, I had a meeting with our TV studio crew, of course, and then had the work that we did with taping for Right Side Broadcasting and for some of our other broadcasts in the studio. This was after Georgette left. Did some spots as well, some short spots. Had a call with our live action with the leaders there, and then a call with our Chief Technology and Operations Officer after that. Had dinner, and then had a call in the evening with the regional coordinators of Silent No More. And that was a call that we did on Zoom with all these leaders nationwide. That was at 8:30, went till about 9:15. Then I did some quiet work to close out the day. That was Tuesday the 5th. On Wednesday morning, the 6th, got up real early, did some various emails in the car because I got picked up at 3:45 a.m. to go to the airport to go to Washington, D.C. In the car on my way to the airport, I finalized some templates for emails out to the various states for our political outreach department. We are mobilizing people by alerting them that the voter registration deadlines for the primaries are coming up. We also alert them when early voting starts. We alert them what the primary date is in their states because it varies from state to state and people may not be paying attention to it necessarily. So I went to the airport, continuing work on my laptop, on my emails and various projects, and then got on my 7 a.m. flight to Washington, D.C. When and I did continue to do email work on the plane. When I got there to D.C., I went over to our Washington, D.C. office where our full-time staff person there met me. And we had a little meeting. And then I had a board meeting of the National Pro-Life Religious Council. I head up that organization, interdenominational pro-life group. And we met and talked about plans and activities of that group. And that meeting went until about 2 in the afternoon. At that point, I had some additional meetings with our staff person there in Washington, and then we headed over to another location, the hotel, where we were getting ready to welcome the pro-life leaders for an evening reception. Janet Morana, our executive director, and also our executive manager were there already getting things set up. We met briefly with them. And then I went over to Planned Parenthood because I was asked to be the keynote speaker at the closing rally for 40 Days for Life by Professor Michael New. And we were there at the Planned Parenthood together with my friends Teresa Bukovac and Also Lauren Handy, those who had retrieved the bodies of the babies in Washington by asking for a box that the medical waste delivery driver was loading onto a truck. So we were with them. We talked about that some more as well after the prayer vigil in front of the Planned Parenthood. And then I had to get right back to the hotel at 5 o'clock because I had a quick dinner there in the hotel room. And then the pro-life leaders began arriving, and we had a reception in the evening for several hours. All kinds of leaders from all over the country, key people in Washington, D.C., leaders over in Congress, staff were there, and heads of different organizations that you would know. We were all together for an evening reception. That was Wednesday the 6th. Let me see, Thursday morning the 7th, up very early, said a mass at the hotel for pro-life leaders. And then we began the all-day meeting of pro-life leaders. This is a quarterly meeting that we at Priests for Life administer, and it was a really great meeting. It lasted the full day. I was interacting with leaders, listening to their presentations, networking as we all were, getting updates, planning for what the pro-life movement will do after the Dobbs decision and how we will explain that decision to people and conduct the great amount of work that will still need to be done to secure protection for the unborn. Really, really great series of meetings. Alveda King, our associate and board member, was there, and other leaders as well. At the conclusion of that meeting, I did a little bit of work over at the hotel, and then had a dinner meeting with our own team and also with other pro-life leaders joining us. That was Thursday the 7th. On Friday morning the 8th, I did some early work, and then I had breakfast with the leader of Susan B. Anthony List, Marjorie Dannenfelser. We'd been friends and colleagues for a long time, so we had a breakfast strategy meeting. From there, I went to Union Station and hopped on a train to Baltimore, doing various work while on the train on emails and documents that had to be prepared for upcoming travels and broadcasts and things like that. I arrived in Baltimore, was picked up by a local pro-life leader. We went to lunch, and then right away we went over to a school. We went to St. Mark's Catholic School in Catonsville, Maryland, and I spoke for a couple of hours to the students. We had them in two groups. The first group were very young students, so I gave them some basic biblical stories about how special human life is to God. The second group, the older students, we were able to talk more explicitly about abortion, and they were great. These students had a lot of great questions. So my talks there went from 1 o'clock until 2:45. Then we hopped back in the car, and right then at 2:45, I had a phone call with the engagement director for the National Faith Advisory Board, of which I am a member. This was put together by President Trump and his close advisors. So I had a good call in the car with her, talking about steps that we can take to strengthen the faith community, prepare for the midterm elections, and so forth. We then had a meeting over in Lutherville, Maryland, with some pro-life leaders, a dinner meeting, early dinner meeting with them. That was very pleasant. And then we went right across the street to the abortion mill in Lutherville, and I led the prayer vigil there and gave the keynote address for the closing rally for 40 Days for Life at that location. When that was done, we hopped in the car and drove over back to Catonsville, where I led an evening vigil at 8 p.m. in front of that abortion mill, again with the people of 40 Days, and I gave a different talk as a keynote closing rally concluded there. And then I was driven over to the hotel by the airport to go to bed and be ready for a very early flight the next morning. Got up, did some final work on my laptop as I went over to wait for the plane, and then on the plane flew back to Orlando, landed here, and let's see what I did then when I got back. I was working on communications for the Dobbs decision of the Supreme Court, getting ready for that, getting ready for midterm elections, indicating to some donors some mass intentions that I would do. My emails that day also dealt with Janet's new book, our executive director. Her book is coming out on teens and abortion, getting ready for our pastoral team meeting, for the National Right to Life Convention, and for the detailed planning for the rest of the month of April. On the car ride home from the airport, I worked on the new prayer book I'm writing called In the Embrace of His Mother, pro-life prayers asking the intercession of the Virgin Mary. Got back here to the office, unpacked, caught up on a lot of desk work, email work the rest of the afternoon, did a couple of errands, things I had to pick up in town. And at night, while signing some birthday cards, was delighted to watch the rally of President Trump. I also was on the phone with a number of people about some upcoming pro-life legislation. But President Trump's rally from North Carolina was fantastic. And then I had a couple of other calls, including with our executive director before the day was over. That was Saturday. Sunday, April the 10th, I was having a quiet day of work here at the office, did Mass, live broadcast Mass in the morning, lots of emails, did the liturgical online resources update for the month of May, and then follow up from the 115 Forum meeting, signed birthday cards for donors and bishops, basically desk work, and some phone calls as well with our operations manager and other key staff as the day went on. And that was Sunday here at the office. Then Monday morning came, and let me see what I had to do by email. I did early Mass, taped it for broadcast, working on I'm working on some special articles. I did some of this on Sunday too, detailing the abusive treatment that my ministry and I have received from some in the hierarchy. Sadly, some bishops who are not doing their jobs to foster good pro-life work, but rather are attacking us and trying to limit our pro-life work. It's all going to be exposed, and I'm exposing it detail by detail so that they can be held accountable. Worked on trip plans for upcoming trips. Again, Mass intentions for people that are requesting them, scheduling those Masses, working on the Radio Maria, giving approvals for mailings. And then let's see what else. On Monday, the 11th, after our morning staff meeting, had some additional meetings with our website team, our resource department. Resources are really doing great. Our data department. Then I had a live broadcast at 11 a.m. together with Janet Moran, our executive director, and with Teresa and Kevin Burke of Rachel's Vineyard, a live broadcast regarding our Abortion Recovery Awareness Month here in April. We did that broadcast until noon. I had a quick lunch. I had some meetings. I had a 1:30 call with our youth outreach director, a 2 o'clock taping for Right Side Broadcasting, more work at my desk, another call at 4:30 with our finance director, and then an additional call with our technology and operations manager while driving to get some dinner. I did the phone call with him on the way to and from the pickup restaurant, and then ate here and did more work at my desk until it was time for bed. That's my daily diary. We are happy to be an open book for you and for this movement as we continue to lead the way to end abortion. Thanks for listening. God bless.